good now. We're gonna take our volume down a little bit more. We're well into the red there. We should be good. I think, and then we'll see how loud it comes across.
Good.
I'm sure if it's not good, people let us know.
Cool.
I think we might have to send you these.
Okay. That should be fairly easy. Says it's live. Cool.
There we go. Now we started.
We're not ready, obviously.
Alright. We're officially live.
All right. Oatmeal's ready. Is everything else ready?
Yeah. Channel 1. Okay, cool.
Smile and look at me if you heard the bell. All right. Good morning. Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. I'm Reverend Shari, Woodbury, the minister here. Whether you're here in the common room with us or joining online on Zoom or YouTube, I'm glad you've chosen to be part of this experiment this morning. A special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It's a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It's a community of varied cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many different sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this space. I want to acknowledge that our church occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Otoe, Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We're trying something new today, as you must have gathered with this brunch service. So let me tell you a little bit about how this will go and how you can take part. If you're joining us online, please know there are two options for participating this morning. Those who are here in real time on Sunday morning may prefer to join just this time via Zoom. Go back to the pandemic way we used to do it. The link to Zoom is on the homepage as well as in the e-blast. If you do it that way, you'll be able to participate in breakout groups and have an experience more similar to what folks will have here in the common room as they're having small group conversations around the tables. It is still streaming on YouTube, so if you watch later or you just prefer to use YouTube, that's fine too. Either way, I encourage you to have your breakfast or a snack, a piece of fruit or something with you that you can eat so you can partake in the gustatory part of this experience. For families here in the church, if you have younger children, they're welcome to flow back and forth between the common room and the nursery. And just be sure to have a parent sign them in and out each time so our child care providers know who they're keeping track of. Child care is open to all ages today. We do have a teen table too. Hello, teens. Teens are welcome to sit with their families or at the teen table. One of our aims with this service is to foster connections across the generations. So we have a few tables that are designated to mix it up and maybe before, gotten to know before. For sharing with people in your group if you're in Zoom. There's some tofu dish here on table as well. And then we'll resume after everyone's had a chance to get through. If you like chatting with folks at your table, until we get going again on the service, you might share with each other at your table or in the chat online something about what you enjoy doing during the summertime, summer days. But first, the chalice lighting. I invite forward John Pepin to light our flaming chalice. And if you'd like to join me in our chalice lighting words, they're on your program. All together. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life. Thanks, John. All right, if you haven't already, you can get your food and find your seat, and if you're so moved, chat with your companions or in the chat about some of your favorite summer activities. Bon appetit.
I like the long nights, or the long days, taking a walk at 9 o'clock at night. Really by parking just drove there.
And it's successful. Congratulations.
Just so you know, this mic.
Like, teens have alcohol at their table. What is up with that? It is us who need alcohol.
Someone. I just want to make you. It's just picking up ambient room noise.
I wanted to hear this. I was a little bit scared.
Thank you.
For you. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Without extraordinary effort.
Joy, this way.
Oh, young one.
Yeah.
The Black Magic. We're back now, aren't we?
Yeah, I am just gonna leave it on.
It was in the bag.
Yeah.
Smile and look at me if you can hear that bell. All right. So, little update. We had a little trouble with getting the oven going early. The breakfast casseroles are going to come out around 11, so you'll have another opportunity to come get some. That's baby stuff if you want. There is the tofu scramble here, and of course the oatmeal ready to go. And also, for anyone who doesn't already know, we have a parking validation machine in the foyer, which is out these doors and upstairs, in case you're parked in the garage. So I invite everyone to join me in our opening song. It's Gather Here. We're just going to do this by ear. You can jump in right with me if you know it, or listen once through, and we're going to sing it twice.
Oh, they're away. They're away.
Ready? Gather here in the mystery of the hour. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in the struggle and the power. Spirit draw near. Once more words are here. Gather here in the mystery of the hour. Gather here in one strong body. Gather here in the struggle and the power. Spirit draw near. All right. That sounds good. I'm not sure what you got in your plate or on your bowl in front of you. Maybe you just have your glass of what you're drinking at this point. I invite you to take a deep breath. Look around you at the faces that are near you. And take a sip or a bite of what you've got there. Notice the flavors. Maybe it's that smooth oatmeal. There's the texture. Do you smell anything in your food? Do you notice colors of your food? Sheen. If you like, you can put your hands out like this in a gesture of gratitude for the earth that has provided this food, and for all the hands that have brought it to us, from the people who work in agriculture, to the people who stocked it on the shelves, to the people in this church who prepared this food this weekend for us to eat together. And in this food, we can feel our connection, not only to one another, but to the entire web of life. As you continue eating, Lita Magisana shares a poem with us called "You Are What You Eat."
The soil of South Dakota feeds me through this bowl of oatmeal. The kids' waffles come from Kansas wheat, while minerally maple syrup, the blood of trees, harkens back half a millennium when it was first harvested by humans. Raisins grown in the San Joaquin Valley of California enrich my blood with iron. Iron, the Lego of life on Earth, spewed from its core through volcanoes, sped through space to Earth's skin and meteorites sent by bright supernova. I marvel at eggs that make my breakfast rich and yellow. Thank you, hens. And savor the sweet flavors of the fleshy ovaries of fruit trees and vines. Most of all, I take in the faces that surround me, the squirming bodies of children who are not mine, who are ours. The voices of friendly strangers and familiar companions. For as much as my belly is filled with oatmeal or fruit, my being is nourished in community. Like the foods, these connections trace back in time. Is not eating together the oldest of rituals? And travel the globe to hold me in reverence on this warm June morning, here on the prairie. May I dine on delight and sleep of amazement for every meal to come, until I myself am made not only of Dakota oats or Kansas wheat, San Joaquin raisins, or maple from Maine, until I feel myself not only a member of the family of humanity, but until each cell I am made of awe and wonder.
Everyday things can be marvelous when I pay attention. I don't know if you have this experience. The bird feeder at our house has been a source of ordinary wonder when I sit down to meals lately and look out our back doors. The sounds of the red-winged blackbird have become so familiar that when I hear its almost electronic tang, my eye expects to see those scarlet shoulders as I look up at the window. And then there's the woodpeckers. I used to notice them only when they came to the suet or the feeder, but increasingly I recognize their movements on the trees in the backyard. I think they were surely there all along, but now I'm kind of attuned to them and I see them among the bark and the leaves, the way they move up and down and their short little tails. And I feel this connection and this sense of kinship with these bright-eyed creatures. Even the sparrows, the commonest of birds, prompt joy for me. The young ones, recently fledged from the nest, flutter their wings. You know, they have this kind of trembly thing they do that kind of reminds me of toddlers figuring out how to walk. And they follow their parents around on our deck, their beaks open. Feed me, tweet, tweet, tweet. And the adults do. They care for their young. They respond to these darling sounds and open mouths with food. They show the little ones where to go and what to eat. Everyday things are amazing. Perhaps nothing ordinary regularly sparks awe in me as much as the face of my child. It's not just me either, it's all of you at that team table. I don't know if it's like this for other parents, grandparents, people who have close, regular contact with children as they grow up. I think it probably is like this. I look at my teen's face, and I see the same face that smiled up at me from the baby wearing thing I was wearing when she was only a few months old. Those same bright eyes, that same delight in life. It could have been yesterday that she fit in the crook of my arm. And now she's almost as tall as me and starting high school. Still, recognizably the same being. There's nothing more ordinary than children growing up. It happens all the time, right? But also nothing that makes me feel more connected to the great progression of humans stretching back in the mists of time and forward into a future well beyond me. And I swear by this chalice that all of the young people here bring up similar feelings for your grown-ups, sheer teary wonder. And of course, food. I've had times in my life when it felt like a chore to have to mess with food, always cooking and scrounging up a meal, always eating. Oh, it's so much work to take care of these bodies, you know what I mean? But when I slow down and pay attention to it, food is amazing. We made a stir fry at my house last night. Glazed tofu, crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, and a giant wok full of veggies. Florets of white cauliflower, chunks of orange pepper, zingy shiitake mushrooms, crunchy bok choy slices, all in a creamy broth of coconut milk and Thai seasonings. We ladled out the saucy dish in bowls over our brown rice. The smell alone was delectable. And the combination of colors, flavors, textures made a feast for all the senses. Is it not amazing that humans consume over 1,000 different kinds of vegetables across the planet? Over 1,000. 21 types of grains, including oats, of course. And don't get me started on the pleasures of summer fruit. Juicy peaches, musky cantaloupe, dark red cherries. I'm sure you have your favorite. The birdness of birds, the development of people from babies to big people, the tremendous bounty of nature that nourishes us. Everywhere I look, if I really witness what is around me, are things that delight and astound me. As we continue to explore everyday wonder, I invite you to talk with the folks at your table, or if you're on Zoom, you'll be put in a breakout group momentarily. If you're on YouTube, you can chime in via the chat. You can follow where the discussion takes you. There are some starter discussion prompts on your order of service that you can use. And please make a point to give everyone a chance to share. Let's begin. Okay. Casseroles are ready if you want to get some first.
Bring your bowl. Bring your bowl in. That one has sausage. That one has crab. That one's just and the cider here. And there's the blueberry, there is
deal with it. The adult seems to be, but
Give me 1 more hour.
It was such a cool evening last night that we sat out and heard this really loud and it was 2 male partners having some kind of going around. They were flying at each other and they were flying all around their backyard. I'm not sure what their problem is. That was because they're so bright that even when they fly, it's flashing red.
they look big, but
I know.
Then we can take audio from
Sometimes the episode they watch all it is a great
Like trying to be attached to me. It's just like give me some space to be a separate individual.
That is good.
but it is small. It has a short
I have thought of anxiety.
It's just too hard to carry around.
I'll put it away.
Like they've always
And then we can decide, are we staying because we're already here, or assuming you're paying to go back? Because they do pay, wherever you are, you were there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of things. I remember when he was getting there 2 times
We already tell my I have the thing outside of being there, so that's already.
Yeah, it was tough. We got offered a better job while I was still and then I realized he didn't have it. So he was supposed to also run basically you could work and rotate and so civilian paychecks starting to get it.
Does the team plan then to basically retire on Friday, go back to work on Monday? Because the current company is not the current water standard is trying to phase out the ability to get doing in the shop. because they did duty, you can multitask, right? You can say, okay, there's nothing that's like currently in number, otherwise then you won't have it. Whereas this is the way so right now he's nervous about like what if I retire and then there are yeah. But I told him it's still 4 years and it could be that the teenagers come in this fall and say no.
Every new guy has a different they always want to live with their confidence.
Well, my therapist
Oh, I stole it from Doug. Doug who? Over here.
they don't care about anything. So she said to me, I could design however I want to. And I said, well, I'm a little, I have to think that mine is the type of so I can just open it like, oh, this is what I want. But it's great, and then he has three employees, he has a nice, right? If you sell this house, you get this person.
So that's the Doug
That was so funny when you were like, I want to read that. It's like no big deal. I've already seen
representing Start King. He just learned something. We started at the exact same time. I don't think who it was when I was like, I knew that name. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm very unprofessional. Not a big deal. I'm like, this is literally the only person who knows strawberry, cream cheese, red vanilla. There's a little everyone could be. Why? Why would you be here?
Sure.
But it would be nice, you know, since we live by each other. Yeah. Yeah, aren't you by each other in the car?
You know, it's like when I make cookies, I wash them all the time because they get goo.
When we first started, but then I know the last time we were very quiet. So I hope definitely, right, like we're not all the same people. Obviously, I think it should be nice to get you to read out him from that initial. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she mentioned that. I'm like, I'll just give you your simply. Well, you know what? I come back. We are running out of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but it's not even military things. I have to encounter several personality. Right, it's just a very different personality thing. And some of that might have started newness. Right.
Well, I don't need one, but there's one left.
They do have good stuff. I know it's too. But it's a lot of the same stuff. Because you've been buying some of the exact same stuff. So, but I try not to get too much, but it was like my experiment. Like, okay, let's do that. My ears haven't reacted to any of them either. I have like 3 different ears.
I'll probably just stick it again. I enjoy it.
Looks like all that. Wow, it's going quick.
I'll get the cream milk.
like me if you heard the bell. That's more fun than what kindergarten teachers do. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your visiting with one another. You can stay longer after if you want to continue those conversations. I want to invite each group to share something that came up in your conversation that is appropriate to share, get permission to share with the group. Could be related to the questions that were on there about wonder of everyday things, or it could be something else you feel like sharing. And if there are folks online who want to put something in the comments, you can do that as well. And I'm going to bring a microphone around.
Should be now. No? Oh.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Nothing you want to share? They deviated. I'm sure that didn't happen at any other table. There's nothing you want to share in general from your conversation that arose?
Remember when thunderstorms were fun? Remember when thunderstorms were fun?
I do. I still like them.
Hail damage.
Well, the one thing I find, or many things around our property I find amazing, and then those of you who've been there might realize what that might be, but we have water features, and we have bird baths, and there's obviously been a lot of water, and if you let those go for 2 days, there's sources of life in those little puddles, and I do try and get rid of them, but I do just find it amazing how water breeds life, so even if they're mosquitoes.
When you go on vacation and you go to a new place, realize that the people that live there think that Omaha might be a wonderful place to visit.
Every place is new to someone.
We discussed names and middle names and the meanings behind them.
No one wants to share their secret middle name with the whole group.
Mine's Jay.
Well, from our table to the rest of the world, thunderstorms are still funny, especially when they happen in Iowa. Besides that, you know, the potlucks and the community night that bring the potlucks to the rest of us. We think we are extremely funny.
We think friendship, water, and AC is amazing.
I almost said that in my little reflection. Like, how do people live before air conditioning? I don't know.
So we talked about things to do. Douglas loves to go to Fontenelle Forest. John loves to go to sun dances.
Ashley.
Kimberly Retreat Center, sorry, I forgot the name of that one. I love to go to my balcony, and Charlie loves to hide and pray for autumn.
Well, we covered the birds in our backyards and the cardinal fights and the water, and then we segued to travel and family and grandchildren, and yeah, it was wide-ranging.
All right. We're going to segue now into joys and concerns. I think we just had a number of joys rush in there. Of course, when we share the things that are filling us up, others can be uplifted with us. And when we share the challenges that we face, our community can surround us with care. As we begin, I actually want to invite Douglas Lee Regier, the president of our Board of Trustees, to share a special joy announcement.
Yes, indeed. Well, I am very happy to be making this announcement today, thank you, at our very first experiment with doing church in a non-conventional way. Well, maybe it's not our first, but one of them. Having launched church, I'm here to tell you about our minister's upcoming sabbatical leave in 2025 and how it is going to benefit all of us and help us develop further as a church community. I just want to mention that Lunch Church comes out of a series of ideas that Reverend Shari has inspired us with on how to make church more relevant to a wider range of, to a wider audience. I don't think we're going to get to rock and roll church inspired by
Karaoke night!
okay, karaoke. Oh, yeah, that one. But they had a rock and roll church at an Episcopal church in England, and everybody had their own headphones and so on. But well, not quite there. But Shari is helping us think outside the box. Shari has provided great leadership over the last 4 years, including seeing us through the pandemic at a time of doing virtual church. Now we have the opportunity to provide her with a period of paid leave for study, reflection, renewal, and hopefully even more creative ways of doing church. Reverend Shari, along with the board of directors and a committed task group, is planning her first sabbatical in the 4 years that she's been here for next year, July 1st to October 31st, 2025. A sabbatical is included in Shari's letter of agreement with the church, and such leave is standard among UU clergy benefits. It is a covenant with our congregation that reflects a rich and lengthy tradition of Unitarian Universalists. Also, my online dictionary defines sabbatical as a period of paid leave granted to university teachers or other workers for study or travel, traditionally 1 year for one whole year for every 7 years worked. That's how I'm used to thinking of it. The practice here at First Unitarian is 1 month per year of service. Our congregation's sabbatical team, I'll mention them later, established this spring, is busy formulating a plan for the continuity of the congregation ministries and leadership during Shari's leave. We're so fortunate to have our community minister, Reverend Sarah Voss, as part of that. The plan assigns worship, pastoral care, rites of passage, and board and staff leadership. All those responsibilities to a variety of individuals. It utilizes a modest, already designated, set-aside fund for paying such coverage. The committee is also charged with supporting Shari's transition to sabbatical, her boundaries while she's on sabbatical, and her re-engagement in the life of the congregation after the sabbatical period. The sabbatical team plans to provide regular communication, including opportunities for you to learn more, provide input, and to support its efforts. Look for a timetable and updates regarding plans for coverage soon. A sabbatical leave is a cost-effective way to nurture an effective long-term ministry. Pastoral transitions are costly in terms of budget as well as lost time and labor. Transitions are expensive, involving search processes, compensation negotiations, and moving costs. Another source reports that the typical pastor in his or her greatest ministry has in their greatest ministry impact in a church in years 5 through 14. Well, ours will go beyond that. Unfortunately, the average pastorate lasts only 5 years. The average tenure for a UU minister in 2023 was slightly longer, at 6 years. At First Unitarian, we had a long period of service with Ron Knapp, and now we're hoping for a long term with Reverend Shari as well. Again, I'm happy to deliver this message to the congregation now in order to allow time for preparation, understanding, and this very important endeavor to create a spirit of working together to be able to say on October 31st, 2025, we did it. The sabbatical team is made up of Vanessa Timberlake, wave your hands, Suzanne King, Deb Burton, Rebecca Turner, and myself, Douglas Learygear, and we can be reached at SOB team at First Unitarian at firstuuomaha.org. You can get that from me later. Additional personal contact information for each of us will be published in the church emails. Also published in the church at the church website is the FAQ, facts and questions about sabbatical leave and more about the why and so on. These were put together by people on the sabbatical team, and they're what I based my comments on. So again, I'm happy to make this announcement. I hope you will look forward to it as I do and be available to help and support this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas. I have a concern here shared by Kendall Anderson. Kendall's concerned about the death of our democracy. I think many of us here from conversations share concerns about grave threats to our democracy. He mentions the Project 2025 proposals, which I've spoken about from the pulpit, which are pretty scary, something all humanists and people with humanistic values should be concerned about. They want to put states' rights out there. Kendall says, remember Jim Crow, how they wanted to overturn LGBTQ rights. They're at it again on that. And want to politicize key bureaucratic government positions. I know many folks had heavy feelings if they watched the debate, whatever your political feelings are. I know that we all support democracy and participation and want to keep our country democratically based. Kendall shares his perspective that if Biden fails, Kamala Harris will be there, should that be the ticket that is elected. However you feel, I hope you will exercise your democratic responsibilities. And I saw Melissa back there waving petitions to remind us that there are several petitions available to be signed, including to get abortion protection on the Nebraska ballot. I believe there's one for schools. She's got one about medical marijuana as well. So if you want to be involved in any of those petitions, you are welcome to sign those. And another way to get involved is to participate with our UU the Vote program, which is gearing up again to help mobilize people to participate in our democracy, which is one of the best ways to protect the democratic process. Let's see, Colin, do we have any other joys and concerns? Okay. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to the terrific team that put this this first Brunch Church together. Along with the stalwarts on our worship team, we were also joined by Sarah Copeland, Linda Parker, Beth Conover, and several others, and are very grateful for them helping to make this happen. If you loved it and you want to see it happen again, let any of us know and we'll be sure and loop you in. Let's turn to the offering now. Generosity is one of the values of our faith, and each week we practice it by collecting an offering. Half of the undesignated gifts go to a local cause which resonates with our liberal religious values. The other half, of course, supports the work of the congregation. The baskets are going around now. If you're online or prefer to give via your smartphone, you can use the QR code or link in your program. For June, our Share the Plate recipient is PFLAG, Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. This is our last Sunday collecting for this organization that supports the LGBTQI community and their allies. So thank you for giving as you're able. And we have a little song. If you know From You I Receive, you can jump in with me. We'll sing it 3 or 4 times as the baskets go around. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we... Once more with feeling. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. Right. Let's take a moment now to share takeaways. I invite you in the chat or just where you're seated, no microphone needed, to call out a word or phrase to express something about what you're taking away from our gathering, whether it's related to this morning's topic or anything else. Your takeaways.
Food.
Fun.
Support. Community.
Family.
New acquaintances. Seeing each other's faces. Togetherness.
Love.
Empathy.
All ages. Right. Well, I appreciate you all being part of this little experiment. We do have an evaluation form that the greeters will distribute at the tables. Where do our greeters go? They're up at Melanie. Okay. Sarah will distribute it. And invite you to go ahead and fill that out before you leave today if you can. We appreciate all the feedback to help us make this even better. We're planning to do it at least once more before we decide if we make it part of the occasional rotation of our worship life here. If you're online, you can go to the link that Mark has put in the chat, or just go to the